everyone, it's Jenna and Andy here from A Couple Travelers. We're back today with another video. This is our first trip planning video, if you will. Last year we booked a trip for about 2 months from now for the Food and Wine Festival at Epcot, Walt Disney World, and we're on the fence right now if we're going with everything going on in the world. But
it really depends, if Florida's cases continue to go down. It could be a possibility, and if things work out with our work situation, if we can do the necessary thing in quarantine when we get back, or if we have to be in the office. So we're just kind of waiting to see how that plays out.
There's a lot of factors at play, but all hopes are going towards that we will be at Walt Disney World in October for Food and Wine Festival. So
yes,
we shall see, but we wanted to basically download you guys as to how we are going to be going about planning our trip. Since the parks reopened in July, Disney has put forth a new planning process for dining reservations specifically. So normally when you would do this, months or 6 months in advance.
180 days.
You're now doing it 2 months in advance. So it's not necessarily a good or a bad thing. It just gives you less time to plan, but that's still
plenty of time.
Adequate time.
Yeah. And half the fun of a Disney vacation is the planning. It's the, you book it far in advance, and at 180 days, you make your dining reservations. At 60 days out, you make your fast pass reservation. So it's just all these milestone things from start to finish. Really, it's just half the fun. For sure. Yeah.
And there's still a level of excitement, when you're 2 months out, I'm planning a trip, but it's just not as hyped as far out as it normally was. So.
Yeah. And sorry if you hear weird crunching. Bailey's eating right now.
I don't think Bailey's been on camera yet, but she'll get on camera at some point.
She watches our dog.
Of course, she chooses to eat while we're videoing. So thanks, Bailey. But yeah, we're excited to plan this trip, and we actually are going to be jumping online first thing tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. for that ubiquitous Disney, when they release all the information. So we're excited for it.
Yeah, for sure. And we are going to show you tomorrow morning how to make a Disney dining reservation, what it's like going in the My Disney Experience account, and how step by step to make a reservation. And we'll show you, what the availability are for the restaurants that are open, and kind of show you what our process is like.
Yep.
But we figured today we would give you a lowdown on what our plans are day by day for the upcoming trip, and which restaurants we hope to book tomorrow morning.
Hopefully.
So we are flying out on a Thursday for this trip, and the day is pretty much just going to be exploring the hotel. We're staying at Caribbean Beach Resort,
which we've never stayed there before, so we're pretty excited.
Yeah, I actually have a couple times on some family trips,
right?
But it's
as a couple, I guess,
but it has been a while. So we're gonna definitely explore the resort, hang out at their Banana Cabana bar.
Yep, their pool bar essentially.
Exactly. And then that night, we definitely want to go over to Disney Springs.
Yep.
And we are going to try to get a reservation for Wine Bar George for dinner that night.
Yeah, well, a big fan favorite at Disney Springs.
Yeah,
for sure.
and we both have never been.
Right.
Actually, every single reservation we're trying to make tomorrow are all her restaurants that we've never been to.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point, actually.
So we're very excited.
Cool.
It's going to be a bunch of firsts for us.
Yeah.
And you'll probably be surprised at some of the ones that are on here, because Wine Bar George and Homecoming, very popular restaurants.
Right. It just kind of comes with the territory when we live in Massachusetts. We don't get down to Disney as often as the locals do. So
exactly.
But yeah, it'll be good.
And then the rest of the trip, we're going to do 1 day per park. So right now, there is no park hopper option. So we are just going to do 1 park per day and try to do everything we need to do in the 1 day.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a bummer, because when we booked this trip, like we said, we wanted to do the Food and Wine Festival.
Right.
So we had a park hopper, and we're hoping that every day for dinner we would just hop over to the festival for a couple hours and eat our way around the World Showcase, and then go back to whatever park we were in. And that's not going to be an option, but
I think all things considered, the fact that we would even get to Disney in 2020 is a feat in and of itself.
So day 2, the first park day of our trip, is going to be at Magic Kingdom.
Yep.
So it is going to be reduced park hours for that time. So Magic Kingdom is open from 9 to 6.
Which is
that day, which
bananas.
is crazy.
Yeah, it's tough to do that park in 9 hours.
Yeah, we're really going to have to like
hustle
and then prioritize.
Right.
Like what can we give on, and that's Bailey, and what is we'll catch it next time kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So since the park is only open till 6, it leaves a good amount of the night left to do dinner. So we are actually planning on hopping over to the Contemporary after the park closed to go to the Wave, which is pretty widely regarded right now as like the most underestimated restaurant on property.
Exactly. People who go there just like
rant and rave about it.
Yes.
Yeah. We follow the Diz Unplugged, which is a great Disney vlogging channel, and their host Pete Werner, he just rants and raves about their appetizer, the bacon and eggs all the time. So we'll see. I mean, if we go get the reservation and go there, we might get it, and we'll tell you guys about it.
Yeah, and we'll try to, obviously, like if the park closes at 7, I think we're aiming for like an 8 o'clock dinner so that we do not have to rush out of the park. We can get in line for something at 6:59,
right,
and then ride whatever ride that is, take our time walking down Main Street, and then head over to the Contemporary next door.
Yeah, hop, skip, and a jump. Not that far. So that's the first full day.
Yes. So day 2 for the parks, really day 3 of the trip, is going to be Epcot. And Epcot, its hours are 11 to 7.
Yeah.
So you have all of that morning time. So we thought that was a good time to do a character breakfast. And right now there are 2 open at Walt Disney World, and they are modified. But Topolino's Terrace at Disney's Riviera Resort has a character breakfast, and it's Mickey and Friends. It's the Fab Five minus Goofy.
Right.
So Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Daisy.
Yep.
And they're in like
artists outfit. It's all like that. The Riviera Resort is all that like European flair, so it's very artisanal, I guess, is the theme for that character breakfast.
And the other character breakfast currently is at Epcot. It's Garden Grill. But we're trying not to do that because the park's only open for 8 hours, and we don't want to spend like an hour and a half at a breakfast or a lunch or a dinner to see the characters. So we're going to try to do Topolino's Terrace, but I don't know if we'll have luck because it is one of 2 options if you want to see characters. So we may have to find something else to do that morning.
Yeah, and it's still pretty popular because it just opened more or less like right before the closures happened. I think the Riviera opened in December.
I think so.
It was in high demand pretty much for those 4 months from December to March. So it's now that they're open again, people are really prioritizing it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and then if we don't get to do that, we'll find something else for the morning, and then we will be at Epcot for the rest of the day. And that is pretty much our plan for day 3.
Cool.
So day 4 is going to be Hollywood Studios. And we are so nervous about Hollywood Studios, can I just tell you? Because we know...
Just for the Rise of the Resistance boarding group.
Yes, and in case you don't know, like that is the second newest ride on property, because Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which is also at Hollywood Studios. Yeah. But Rise of the Resistance, you need a boarding group.
Yeah.
And
it's a virtual queue, essentially.
Exactly. And the second they're released, like, they're gone.
Yep.
So they do, they release them at 10 a.m. when the park opens, and then again at 2 p.m. And it's like you're there refreshing your phone, and then like join boarding group, and hopefully you get one. And if you don't, you are not riding it.
Yeah, it's...
And we only have that one day and that one opportunity. Mm-hmm. And we did get to go on Smuggler's Run, which was the other ride
in Disneyland.
In Disneyland.
Yeah.
The other ride of Star Wars, Galaxy's Edge. Yeah. And it was amazing, but Rise of the Resistance was not open yet. And so, fun fact about me, I do not like to watch the rides, like on YouTube or anything, before I go on it.
Yep.
And he hates me. Mm-hmm. So that's every time we watch something, like we follow a lot of other vloggers who we like, this is what has gotten us through quarantine, is to like live vicariously through other people's vacations, from the past.
Yeah. Shout out to All Ears and the Diz and all the other channels that have been
Hoffman
in the parks.
Happy Travels.
Yeah.
Walt Disney World couple.
So I actually, right when they were doing media previews for Rise in December, like I saw the video first thing that morning, like, because I knew even though if I watched like a full POV of it, like for the ride through, nothing was going to compare to the actual thing. So I know like the general storyline and like what happens during the ride. She has no clue. She just knows that it's something Star Wars, and that's about it.
And I don't want to know. Like, I did not know before I rode Flight of Passage, and I was so blown away. Like, I'm so glad I didn't. It would have ruined it. And I have friends who have said that they watched it, and then when they went on the ride, they were like, it was fine. And because they knew what was going to happen. But when I saw it in person for the first time, like, I got off that ride and I was like emotional. I was like, I like didn't understand how it was so amazing. And I'm like, you could feel the banshee breathing in between your legs. Like, it was just, but let's circle back. So Hollywood Studios is open 10 to 7 that day.
Yeah.
So we're actually not booking any table service there, but we are trying to get a reservation for Oga's Cantina, which is where you get those like specialty cocktails at Galaxy's Edge that are very themed Star Wars-ish. And they have like a 2-drink maximum, so you just go in, have a couple drinks, and leave. But we've been wanting to do that. And we also want to try to make a reservation for the Droid Depot to build our own droid. I know that's not food related, but it does open at the same time, reservation wise, as the dining reservation. So we're going to try to reserve that tomorrow morning.
Yep.
But since the park does close so early at 7, we think we might hop over to Disney Springs again and try to go to Chef Art Smith's Homecoming.
Very excited for that.
Yes. And we actually have made the biscuits,
the cheddar
drop biscuits from that restaurant that people rave about. And
if we made them that good, I can't imagine how good they are like at the actual restaurant.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
So super stoked for that, and that'll round out the Hollywood Studios day of the trip, and then the last day is Animal Kingdom.
My favorite park.
Yes.
I love Animal Kingdom so much.
And so it's open 8 to 5 that day. So, and we're planning right now on flying out that day too. So probably not going to have anything for dinner, but
there is like, we're hoping to do like the 8 o'clock at night flight that gets us home at like midnight, which is fine. But I don't think we're making any dining reservations for that day. It'll just be quick service. We love Satuli Canteen.
Flame Tree Barbecue, stuff like that.
Something like that. And then we'll have to head back to the hotel to get on the Magical Express
to the airport. All right. Well, camera battery died, which is, just part of what you do when you're a vlogger. But we are super excited for getting our reservations locked in tomorrow bright and early.
Yes. Before we move on, though, I did want to do a shout out for my ears. If you like these, they're Rapunzel inspired. My friend Sam made them, and she has an Etsy shop called Made by the Mouse. I'll put a link down below, but you should check them out if you are in the market for some lovely floral Disney ears.
Yeah, they're well made for sure. But we are, that's it for today, and we will see you in the morning for dining reservations.
See you soon. Good morning.
It's early. The things you do for a Disney trip. It is 6:52. We have a few minutes before we log on and make our dining reservations. But there are just a couple things that you need to keep in mind before you log on. So,
to help make the process easier, especially when you're getting up early to make these reservations, you should make sure that your My Disney Experience account is completely set up before you make your reservations. So if you don't have a My Disney Experience account, you need to make one. that's step one. And then step 2, make sure your current reservation is linked to your My Disney Experience account so that they know you are traveling on those dates, where you're staying, etc., so that the booking window 60 days out opens up. And then step 3, link your family and friends who are traveling with you. So if you are traveling just 2 people, both of you guys need to have your little avatar
Right.
and your own little account, and make sure everyone is linked up together. And then finally, make sure you have a credit card on file, because in order to reserve a restaurant, you need to have one, so that if you don't show up, they charge a small fee.
Yeah.
But as long as you show up, or if you cancel within 24 hours of the reservation, you won't be charged at all. So it's just kind of a safety net for them.
Totally.
But if you have those 4 things done, then you should have no problem making your dining reservations. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, which is what we're gonna go do now.
Yeah. Okay, so signing into the My Disney Experience account, that is step 1. So we are looking for a reservation. I'm gonna start with Topolino's Terrace, because I think that's gonna be the hardest one to get. So that is for October 24th. And you can do it a couple of ways, but I'm actually gonna put the name of the restaurant in. There we go. And I'm gonna search for the date I want. We want breakfast. There is an 8:50 and a 9:45. So Epcot opens at 11. So would 9:45 cut it close?
Probably.
Do you
So
wanna
I would
do the
say
8:50?
8:50. Yeah.
Okay. So click on the time you want. Okay, so Mr. Andrew Bierzensky. Let's find me. Read the guest policies. And hit reserve. Easy as that. And then I like to take a screenshot, but then you also will be getting a confirmation email. Make sure that you keep that for reference in case something goes wrong with the system and it doesn't show up in your My Disney Experience account, but it should. So there are a couple different strategies you can do for making the actual reservations. One I usually go with is starting on the last day of my trip and working my way forward. So since I can book for the entirety of my trip at the 60-day mark right now, people who don't arrive until after I've arrived don't get to book until later on. So you'll have, like, if you have a popular restaurant in mind, try to put it toward the end of your trip, because there will be much more availability than the first day of your trip when someone who's going a couple days before you booked a few days ago.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's a great point.
Let's try Oga's Cantina.
Do you know if
Okay, 10:40, 12:55, 1:15.
Ooh.
That's if I do lunch, but if we do you have a different time in mind? Like, do you want to try like a 4 o'clock? Let's see, search around 4 o'clock. There's a 3:30, a 4:10.
So we could either do like a midday.
I mean, it's just drinks, so
Right.
you can get food there.
So we could either do some midday drinks or some afternoon drinks.
Maybe it should be midday if we're planning on doing Baseline Tap House
Yeah, I was gonna say the
for
same.
like beer.
I was gonna say the same thing. So let's go for
wanna do
the
like,
mid.
11,
See, like a
11:30 or 12.
Yeah,
10:40 or 12:55. So there's
12:55.
Okay.
2 down.
So I just want to show, if we go to my plans while I'm in the screen capture. So our reservations are showing up.
Perfect.
Ta-da!
Cool.
Okay. So let's do the wave. The wave of American flavor. Okay, we want that on the 23rd after Magic Kingdom. We want dinner. Okay, Magic Kingdom closes at 6. There is a 7:05 and a 7:20.
7:05 it is.
Well, these are being very easy.
And if you've never planned a Disney trip before in terms of making reservations, take this with a grain of salt, because usually it is, like trying to reserve classes in college. If you guys remember that.
That's a good comparison.
Sort of pressure that you were under. Everybody's logging on at the same time, but since there is about a 30% capacity limit to the parks right now, you're obviously dealing with fewer people, but at the same time the restaurants also have a reduced capacity. But overall, it seems like people who are trying to make reservations are having a little bit of an easier time to get them.
I thought maybe we would have a difficult time. Okay. So the latest dinner I'm finding is 6 o'clock.
Ooh, so that's not necessarily a late dinner.
So, I mean, if we're flying in really early, I don't think it's going to be a problem.
No.
It's just...
Earlier than we wanted.
Do you want me to check homecoming?
Yeah.
And possibly switch? If we could do a late dinner at homecoming then. Okay, there's just nothing there. So, 6 o'clock at Wine Bar George. It is.
Those are two of probably the most popular restaurants at Disney Springs, so
yeah,
that's not surprising. You're probably going to run into a similar thing with like Morimoto and some of the other popular restaurants there. Just have backup plans in mind if you're trying to make reservations for those spots.
Wine Bar George is all set. So now let's see if we can get homecoming for After Hollywood Studios. We were trying to do that on the 25th and to do it late. 7:50 or 8:05.
For what restaurant?
Homecoming?
Oh,
for like drinks and apps at night or something.
So so that's plenty of time to get to Disney Springs from Hollywood Studios.
Last but not least, we will try to make our Joy Depot reservation. 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, credit card. What is your security code? Okay, that one's booked. Took a screenshot. Cool. So let's go and look at my plans and make sure everything shows up. But if not, we have the screenshots proving that we got the reservation. Andy should have all of the email confirmations in his account. But if you go to your My Disney Experience account, click on My Plans, this is what pops up. And you'll see your hotel. We've customized our magic bands. This is a planning party for a different trip you're seeing here. But here's our stay, Caribbean Beach, Wine Bar George on the first night, the Wave after our Magic Kingdom day, Topolino's Terrace before our Epcot day. For Hollywood Studios, we have our Oga's Cantina drink reservation, we have our Joy Depot reservation, and then we have Art Chef Smith's Homecoming for a late dinner that night. And the final day, we're just at Animal Kingdom before we fly out. And it's all there.
Sweet. Planned for the trip. All right, so there you have it. Simple as that. Only a few little hiccups with just some of the timing at the popular Disney Springs restaurants, but overall, pretty flawless for my Disney experience.
Yeah, there was a lot of availability, which was kind of surprising. But as long as you can be a little bit flexible with some time, sometimes you can get into the restaurants that you want.
And flexibility is often not a word you use for a Disney vacation, but we'll take it. So,
exactly.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We will obviously update you on our in-park experiences at these restaurants. You'll see those coming out in later videos when we travel. But yeah, please remember to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and thanks for watching.
And until next time, guys, keep traveling.